G'day guys, it's Captain Noob here with another wacky weapon. This is the Spiker Assault Rifle. This weapon is created off the base of a railway rifle, so it'll shoot railway spikes, hence the name. As you can see here, it looks more like an assault rifle than it is a railway rifle, so I'll get into the attachments and explain it myself a little bit here. So I've got the advanced receiver here. This gives us the pretty staggeringly good damage of 528, and we've got the vented barrel from the assault rifle. This will give us lots of recoil reduction, and believe me, we will need it. Next up, we've got the recoil compensating stock for the same thing as a vented barrel. Got the quick eject drum mag just to give us a bunch of ammo capacity. We reach 40 ammo capacity in this weapon, whereas if I wouldn't have any magazines attached to it, it would just be 10, which is not enough for an automatic weapon. For the sight, we've got the Gatling laser reflex sight. This gives us a wide sight to look through, but it's a little bit off center, so if you've got OCD, it's going to be a little bit irritating to look through that. And last but not least, we've got the gamma signal repeater. This will just give us the rate of fire that we have right now, along with the rapid effect, and make this weapon very, very powerful indeed. So, now I've talked about and explained how this thing's going to work, let's get into the killing, shall we? Alrighto, so here we are in Gunner's Plaza. It's time to test out the Spiker rifle right here. So we've got this thing loaded up and it's time to get into the killing. So I could fire this at full auto, but for the sake of recoil control, it's probably best if I was just to fire it a little bit slower than what it's capable of, but when I'm nice and close, yeah. So if you notice, this weapon looked like an assault rifle and where its parts should be back in the little weapons preview thing, but since this weapon actually has the animations and the placements of objects like a railway rifle, it looks quite different, but it looks kind of cool nonetheless. So we'll get to shoot this gunner. You can see the rapid effect on this weapon is making it fire insanely high, which is great because the damage output will come in handy once we go and fight the monsters, but for now it is just fine the way it is. So it's important to make sure that we aren't listening or aiming with the green dot, because I don't think it's aligned properly. But oh well. We'll spray her down as she comes out, and I might as well finish this gunner like this. And we've got a reload going, and the thing still sounds like a railway rifle once you reload it, so that's kind of cool. Has that little choo-choo sound. There we go. But it looks nothing like a railway rifle, but it's working very, very good. One of the biggest problems with the railway rifle in the game is that its rate of fire isn't exactly the best, and while its damage is okay, the rate of fire holds it back to extremes. But with the Spiker here, we don't have to worry about that at all. We can just go up nice and close and spray them all to death. Let's knock out that turret. And this one too. So definitely a very good weapon for mobbing and clearing out Gunner's Plaza. Let's see how we go against the bosses, shall we? Okay, so here's Swan. Hopefully this weapon's rate of fire can cut him down nice and quickly, but we'll just have to see. So we'll switch over to third person here and we'll start lighting him up, getting a little bit of sneak attack crits on him just to get him started. And we'll keep on backpedaling. Looks like we've been detected. Shouldn't be much of a problem as long as we don't get stuck in that, which we did. So that's a shame. A nuclear explosion as well as that. That's the super mutant suicider that usually sits there. Got all the hits we could on him with that magazine, so that definitely works for us. Okay, he's getting close now, so it's good a time as any to pop some hits in VATS. And unlike the assault rifle and what's it called, railway rifle, this thing is actually quite yeah, it's quite generous in VATS, and we're able to take him down from a fairly decent amount of health until death, just with a ton of VATS shots, which we wouldn't usually get under normal circumstances. So Definitely a very good weapon for fighting lone massive super mutants, but how will we go against many different enemies running at us at once with the boss? Let's go and see. Okay, the dead of night is on and it's time to make these bears just as dead. So I think we can get away with getting some shots on him from back here. We'll just hit the first weapon or first few shots as crits just to make sure they get there. Unlike the assault rifle, it's worth mentioning that the railway rifle isn't hit scan and neither are its spike, so if I was to shoot that from there out of VATS, it'd take a little bit of time before the spikes actually hit. Absolutely obliterating his health right now, and now he's coming up and running to us, so probably time to backpedal and make sure he doesn't get his big claws in our guts as he does his massive swipes. We're into Nerd Rage territory and we're going to finish him off quickly, hopefully. A swing and a miss from the big bear and we're able to take him out just because of his incompetence. We'll take out these bears next. A lot of the bears like to get airborne as they try to clamber over each other to run at you, so that's probably why you don't see too many out in the wild like this. Mass enemy placements tend to cause glitches like that. If you're familiar with the video where I killed 60 giant Mirelurks, they're all clambering over each other like a massive Mirelurk tower. So that was a pretty easy kill considering everything went down pretty well. Let's go find a nasty Deathclaw and kill them with it, shall we? Okay, so here's the Deathclaw of the glowing sea and we'll take him on just like we did with the bears, and there's no reason not to because that tactic worked very well last time. So while he's focused on killing the mole rats and rad scorpions over there, we'll just cheaply smack him in the belly with a bunch of railway spikes. He'll probably catch on to our act pretty quickly because Deathclaws are quite perceptive, but we should be able to get a very, very good head start on him indeed, and hopefully we'll take him out before he finishes off all these other creatures who are attacking him, but it's unlikely since he one-shots basically everything, except for maybe Swan. So we'll just spam all of our things around, there's no real timing to this. As you can see, the recoil is a little bit on the hard to control side, but through just a little bit of lowering the mouse as you fire, you can get a pretty decent shot on him, and now it looks like he's trying to attack us, so we'll continue to backpedal and maybe not take his claw, aiming for the belly, went for the leg, didn't really matter, and we've got a couple of mole rats to deal with. Alright, now we get to watch mole rats fight for our amusement. My money's on the brood mother, yeah, easily killed for that brood mother, but we've finished her off. We avenged our puppy, and Vault 88 is under attack. I couldn't care less. Okay, so that was one dead giant mythic Deathclaw, and that was it for the Spiker assault rifle. If you want a weapon like this, be sure to head down to the description and find the mod which applies to your platform. Also, and last minute question, would any of you in the audience be interested in me streaming a Nuka World playthrough? I haven't actually played through on this character yet, so I could actually do something with that, and that could be a quite fun thing to do. Haven't streamed Fallout 4 yet. Have streamed Battlefield 1 in the past, but done that on a limited scale, and Fallout 4 is the main game on this channel, so might as well stream that rather than Battlefield 1. So, let me know if you'd want to see something like that. Thank you for watching, guys.